Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here today with the layout using the April Hip Kits. So my inspiration here came from the title, the die cut download that you can get when you log into the Hip Kit website. And it's called You're the Best. It's one of the exclusives. And so I've die cut that really large. You can see it there on my table, kind of just getting ready to go. And I'm just adding some cardstock here to this navy stripe paper. I really like the bold stripes, but it was just a little bit too much for me anyway to do a whole background. So I've added some white cardstock. And you can see the die cut title there. I'm just kind of fixing up a few of the rougher edges. For some reason, this one cut a little rough on the edge. And I don't know why. I think maybe my blade is dull. And then as you can see here, I'm just peeling off my mat, the offset of that, oops, sorry, I hit the camera there, the offset of that design, and that I think I did about 1/8 of an inch around the outside. And I'm just going to layer that pink polka dot type paper onto this, it's called Robin's Egg cardstock. It's kind of like a teal type of color. And then I'm going to pop the whole thing over top so you can see it's offset there when I'm all done. And the reason I did that is because it is pink. Not that pink's not a boy color per se, but it just kind of brings out the teal color more. And it's kind of different. I don't often do offsets for my titles, so I thought, why not? Now I have some scraps here just from another layout that I have coming up for National Scrapbooking Day. We have lots of fun challenges going on over in the Hip Kit forum on Facebook, so I hope you can join us. So mine involves lots of squares of paper, so I just had some scraps left over. I thought I would use that for this page. And I'm just layering a little bit here on the bottom half of my page, using those scraps up. And because my title is pretty large, obviously, I'm going to use minimal amount of stuff kind of on the bottom, and the bold stripes on the side make it pretty busy too. So I'm just trying to keep it all kind of clean or plainer, I guess you could say, on the bottom. And then I'm just adhering my title to the top of the page. And now the fun part kind of starts. So I'm trying to decide how to fill in kind of around my title. Even though it's white, it feels like it's missing something. This is one of those times where I wish I was smart enough to watercolor in behind it, but I hadn't thought about that, and it's far too late for me now because I have adhesive on the page. So I'm just trying to think of plan B. And what I have done here is I've punched with my little tiny circle punch just some of the gold glitter dots off the acetate sheet that's in the main, I think it's in the paper add-on actually. And I'm just put a whole bunch, and then I've added a glue dot in behind. And so I've decided to kind of scatter those. First I decided to scatter them like enamel dots, much like I would an enamel dot. And then I realized that that could kind of fill in the top part of my area there by my title. So as you can see, I just have a really tiny circle punch, and I want to say it's probably about 1/8 of an inch. It's pretty small, and it's not super strong, so I have to give it a big pounding with my hand there. But I just punch them out and then add a glue dot in behind, and now I'm just going to kind of scatter those in and around instead of using the whole acetate sheet to cover the whole area. It just kind of makes it stretch a little bit longer. And I'm all about stretching my kits as much as I can. So you can see it's pretty simple. And I kind of like just adding these on my own because I can add them where I want them versus the acetate, which really would give me almost too much polka dot for the situation, especially with the polka dots in the title. That would be a lot of polka dottiness. So I'm just kind of adding here and there kind of as I go, and even punching some of the half circles from the acetate sheet and adding those with the glue dot too. So these little glue dots are perfect on the sheet. I'm just going to scatter them around. And then I kind of realized as I'm doing this that in between the title and the photo, it's like kind of an open area there. I really need to add something else in there. So I'm trying to decide what that's going to be. In the meantime, I decide to sew some of these buttons on. I don't like naked buttons, so I'm just going to poke some holes and quickly sew these on. And as I'm looking at this, I realize this title is pink, but because of the navy blue and the other colors down on the bottom of the page, I don't think it's overly pink, so definitely can use pink on a boy or more masculine page with no problem, especially when you draw some other kind of colors into to offset the pinkiness so much, which that teal cardstock kind of does. So that's perfect. So what else can I add? So I'm trying to decide again on that top area. I have all these stickers and chipboard items from the kits too. So I'm trying to decide kind of where I want to use some of those bits. And I really like this You're Rad from the chipboard, so I'm going to add that. And then maybe a couple little stickers. I think I'm going to put this one here on the right side and add a little pop dot in behind it just to kind of get it to pop up with because I use pop dots behind all my photos. So I'm going to add that down on the bottom. And I see some of my letters are kind of falling off, so I just want to get that stuck. And what else can I add? I think a little heart would be good. Move some of these gold dots around and maybe trim off a few. And I think for the most part, that's most of how everything came together. I still have tons of stuff left over from the kit that I want to use, which is what I'm kind of digging through things now, trying to decide if I want to add some more items. But really, I didn't use too much on this page. I wanted to use some of these clear acetates, so I'm just trying to decide that this would be a good filler for that top area there, and trying to decide which one would be best. So I kind of stuck with this heart one. I'm going to stick that down just with a glue dot underneath the larger part there. You can see I reach across my screen, add a glue dot to the bottom, and then get that tucked in behind my photo. And that is how that turned out. And I'm going to add a date, of course, because you should always at least add the date. So here's how things turned out. Here's that die cut title. Turned out, I think, kind of nice. I really like that popped up over that teal cardstock. I really should do that offset a little more on some layouts. It's pretty easy to do too. And here's some of those glitter dots, and then just some of the small embellishments and layers in behind the photo on the bottom. And truly a really quickly easy page thanks to that huge die cut and everything pulled together for Hip Kits. So see you later. Bye-bye.